This is the set that was used by somebody you've heard about already called Noor. And she would have walked about with one of these, but not in these big boxes. She would have walked out with them, and they would have been in a suitcase, as if she was carrying her luggage around. So Noor would have walked about with one of these, and then when she was on her own in the quiet, she would open up the suitcase and be able to communicate with people in London. In order to communicate, you first of all have to be able to listen to the person you're talking to. Secondly, you have to be able to talk to them. For listening, this part of the B2 is actually a receiver, and it receives messages from London, and when you get the messages, they'll come through on a headset, so you can hear the Morse that is being sent to you, because all communication was in Morse code. In order to talk, you didn't have a microphone. You had a thing called a Morse key. And when you put down the key, you sent a dash, or if you put it down for a very short time, you sent a dot. Those dots and dashes would make up the Morse code that you were trying to send. The transmitter is this large panel on the left-hand side at the top. The receiver is this smaller panel down at the bottom underneath, and this unit is to handle power supplies which help both of these two to operate. The first thing she would do would be to switch on the equipment. The connection of the aerial would be to this terminal here. That says A on the top of it for aerial, and this says E on the bottom of it for earth. And this switch is marked TSR, receive, send, and tune the transmitter. The frequency is controlled by a quartz crystal, which looks a little bit like this. The quartz is a different thickness for different frequencies. It's a slab of quartz, like a bit of stone. And if you make it thinner, the frequency will be higher. If you make it thicker, the frequency will be lower. So that is a quartz crystal, and on the transmitter there's one plugged in just here. This little control at the bottom, it's a control for tuning the receiver. What the receiver is listening to comes out onto these headphones and therefore onto her ears, and she can set the volume control louder or softer in her ears. This control controls a thing which enables you to convert the incoming signal into tones. If you don't have this switched on, it's called a BFO, a beat frequency oscillator. If you don't have that switched on, what comes into your headphones is, which is just not very easy to listen to, especially if it's coming through a lot of noise or interference. When you switch the BFO on, it makes a tone, and you hear, and that is the direct conversion, so that the Morse is clear for you to listen to. So what Noor needs, what she must have for efficient communication with London, is connection of the aerial to an aerial wire, the earth to an earth wire, and the power supply according to what power is available to her. She must have those three for efficient communication.